I can't think of anything else I'd rather do on a Friday at 9 o'clock at night, sitting in my house. Kids are asleep. Amy's downstairs having some wine, watching TV. I can't think of another fucking thing I'd rather do than do a goddamn show with my boy Mike and our buddy Joe.
Yes.
What's up, Mike?
What's happening? It is New Year's Eve today, right?
It is.
We're about to bring in the new year in style.
But before we do
With the
that,
Fite
we're going to
Game.
hit you. I don't know if Joe Migz has ever seen this commercial, but we're about to hit you guys with the hottest fucking commercial in the streets right now. Here it is. One of our top 2 sponsors. Here we go.
Norcom Mortgage and Michael Mish are delivering the American dream to those who serve America, helping veterans obtain the dream of home ownership. They offer programs that include no money down, no first-time homebuyer requirement, 100% cash-out refinances, rehab loans. They can help you purchase a home, purchase a condo, refinance an existing mortgage, create a dream home with rehab loan. To learn more, visit www.michaelmish.norcommortgage.com or call 860-884-2103.
I always want to learn more, dude. I always want to learn. Mike.
What a voice that is.
Guess what?
Find that guy.
I want to tell you something, guys. They've been sponsoring us for about a month now. A fighter reached out to me today.
Yeah.
Said, hey, can you hook me up with Mike? And now Mike is helping this fighter out with some mortgage loans down in the state of Florida.
Beautiful.
That makes me feel so good, dude. It makes me feel so good.
Awesome.
It has to be because of the beautiful voice, that Rhode Island accent, and that fucking commercial.
Oof. That 80s game show Yuck It Up voice that I use.
Yuck It Up voice
really works.
All right, man. And the other sponsor we have, of course, we're always rocking their gear. I got the hat on tonight. I got the shirt on tonight. Mike's got the hoodie, Guerrilla Warfare apparel. They got the hottest shit going right now. Go to their website. Use promo code Mike and Mish. Buy some of their stuff. Get 15% off your purchase. And hook
shirt on too.
Hook yourself up with some cool shit. Hook the show up with some support. Look at that. Look at this guy. With that said, guys, I know last night you guys thought that was the last show of the year. You guys are wrong. Fucking wrong. We got one more. There's a big premiere coming up on New Year's Day with our good buddy from down in Florida. He's had multiple podcasts on his own. He's a personality, and now he's going to show it off in this new trivia game show podcast called Fite Game. Let's bring him on right now. Our boy, Joe Migz.
Hey, there you are. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, dude? Look at you with the shirt, the Christmas tree.
Check this shirt out. My favorite T-shirt. It fits I'm telling you, this shirt fits so good. It fits as snug as a condom, this shirt. I got to tell you. It's perfect. I mean, just tight enough around the arms.
That's a triple XL, you're saying.
Ooh.
A triple XL.
Yeah, I'm going to need a
is that the Magnum
all that
size
Christmas
shirt?
food I've been eating.
That's that Magnum size.
That's the Magnum size.
Magnum size shirt, yep.
Hey guys, cheers, guys. Thank you for having me on. A little Yankee love from over here. I salute, guys.
Check this cup out, Joe. It's made out of the same material that an AR-15 is made out of.
Oh, man.
It was a little gift from my soldiers on my way out as first sergeant. I appreciate you, boys. I'm drinking beer out of it tonight. I'm usually drinking water, but whatever.
Hey, much respect to the boys, man. I'll drink to that. Salute, guys. A little red wine tonight.
A little red wine. There you go.
A little red wine. It's good for the heart. You know what I
mean? Dude,
mm-hmm.
So what you been up to, Joe? You been busy?
Yeah, man. Been busy, getting Fite Game ready, getting this new podcast set up, man. So took a little hiatus with the interviews, the bare knuckle stuff. People been hitting me up. Yo, where you at? Would you give up on us? Absolutely not. But this show is a little different because it's pre-recorded, doing a lot of editing, so it's totally different animal now, totally different animal. But I'm super excited. This show is going to be unbelievable, man. It's totally different. It's influencers and athletes going head to head on an interactive trivia show. You could play along. Guests could watch, the viewers could tune in. They could watch the show, play along. You could listen to it while you're in your car, you're taking a shit. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I got to tell you, man,
to getting it out there.
the guest list that you guys compiled for your first season is ultra impressive. And once season 1 wraps up and everybody sees what you guys have done, I can't imagine who you're going to keep going with and getting next time. Joe Ivy just made me laugh to myself while Joe was talking. It says Mike's drinking from a straw again.
Yes, I am.
She always
back.
Hey, is that eggnog in there? You got that spiked eggnog with the brandy? What's going on?
It is, but you know what? I do not like ice against my teeth because it hurts. Hey, listen, I got sensitive teeth. I'm a sensitive guy, you know. I got a sensitive teeth. I do not like the ice against my teeth.
Listen,
hey,
what do they got? That special old people toothpaste for you. What is that called?
Yeah, Sensodyne. I use it.
There you go. There you go. That's what it's called.
I use it too because, like, if I was to drink something cold or hot, it would fuck with me if I didn't use that toothpaste. It works. So if you got use that.
He's got that weak enamel, dude. He's got
the enamel. You got to be careful. Lay off the teeth whitening, bro. It's gonna loosen that enamel up. We're gonna have to call you lukewarm Mike from now on.
You know what? My wife does the same thing. She'll fill up her water. She'll fill up her water bottle the night before she goes to work, and just leave it out on the counter. And like after like years of doing this shit, I'm like, "How come you do that?" And she's like, "Because I don't like the cold feel on my teeth."
Yeah, it hurts, man.
Maybe Mike and Amy should get together.
It makes you like fucking. You ever have a cavity at all? You ever like touch like metal on a cavity by accident and it like sends like a shot through you? It's not that bad, but it hurts. Like it'll make you like, oh shit, like my teeth. Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
Enough about my teeth.
Okay. Speaking of old people, I want to talk about something real quick. Do you guys remember Bob Ross? Do you guys remember Bob Ross, the painter, the happy little trees?
Oh yeah, happy trees. Happy clouds. Oh yeah.
So we found. Oh yeah, we found the Bob Ross channel on whatever the fuck our TV
was. It like Pluto TV or something?
And my kids absolutely love it. Right? They love it. They'll sit there and watch that Afro freak paint all day long. Right? So
guy's a human chia pet,
dude. He's amazing. So for Christmas, we bought them, or somebody bought them some Bob Ross painting kits, and I'm going to show you what my 8-year-old and my 11-year-old did tonight, dude. Be prepared to be amazed, motherfuckers. Here we go.
Shit.
This is 11-year-old Jackson Mish.
What?
Painted this today.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. This is Jackson's, right? Followed the directions, used the titanium white and the Van Dyke brown and the fucking and the sap.
That's incredible.
In the sap green. Now
hold up. Are we being punked right now?
No, I am not punking you. This is Jackson's. He didn't sign the bottom, but Nolan, 8-year-old Nolan, did his own similar, fucking little bit different.
Wow.
Take a look at that.
In the
shit.
world?
Way better than what I could do.
Yo, there's his signature. I don't know if you can see it. There's Nolan.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
What's really funny about it, he's got the drawing skills of like a professional painter and the writing skills of an 8-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
look at that. My wife's watching
looks
right
like
now.
He wrote it as a little kid, but then turned into a grown-ass adult who paints. How unbelievable is that?
And you got the wife's approval. Yep. It's official.
She said, wow. You know what? As a matter of fact, because I'm very artistic and I can paint, I could draw, I could do all that shit. I tried to help. And they didn't want my fucking help. Nolan gets pissed. He's like, I can do it. I'll do it.
I like
that.
All
right. I'm like, listen, I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to give you a couple pointers. I don't need your pointers. I could do it. And those guys, they knocked it out the park. Cool, right?
Absolutely, bro.
They're going to use
bless him, man. Listen, put him to work, bro. Start selling paintings. Open up a gallery, man. Make some money, brother.
Right. They're already brushing their teeth with Sensodyne and fucking drinking.
They're getting ready.
Soy milk and shit.
Yeah. Before you know it, bro, they're going to be walking out with afros in a couple of weeks. You're going to see them walking out of their bedroom, fucking thrown out and shit.
So because these guys got into the Bob Ross channel and the Bob Ross show and whatnot, and obviously they're into the painting, I noticed that Netflix had a Bob Ross documentary. So I watched that shit, right? I want to know about this guy. Dude, he doesn't talk like that, you know. In real life, Bob Ross did not talk like he did on the show. His wife and his son both said that he did that on purpose to sound more sexual more sensual when the old ladies are watching him on TV. He'd be like,
he knew his audience.
yeah. He'd be
It
like,
was the first ASMR videos
Yeah.
that came out.
really,
Oh my God.
He'd go, really caress that color in there. Yeah, just get it in.
Let me tell you. I used to watch Bob Ross when I was a kid. When I was living in Brooklyn, my grandmother would have it on all the time, and I used to watch the show with her. Happy Clouds.
Happy
It's
Clouds.
addictive.
There are no mistakes. There's happy accidents.
I swore that guy was stoned every episode.
Most
Now,
likely.
as a kid, of course, I wasn't thinking that way, but as an adult, I look back and be like, that guy had to be blazed out of his mind when he was painting those paintings. I mean, God bless, he did a great job, but
Yep, that's right. My grandma Reggie would watch that shit constantly, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And now that I watch the documentary, I know what she was doing in that living room. She just listened to that voice diddling her bean. Fucking Christ. God rest her soul. I love you,
That's
Grandma
wrong.
Reggie.
That's wrong.
That is wrong on so many levels.
So many levels. Anyways, let's get off that shit. I don't want to talk about
Man.
Grandma.
Maybe we'll get Bob. We're gonna have to resurrect Bob Ross and get him on Fight Game. Fuck it.
Yeah,
so.
let's get back to Fight Game, man. You guys, let's talk about some of these guests you've had on there. I know you sent some images over. Mike, do we got those images? Guys, wait till you see the guest list that these guys got.
You want to run through them?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's start off with.
There we go. Brian Cage, my AEW guy, Ring of Honor guy, man. Guy's a beast. Brian's a funny guy, man. I got to tell you, Brian had some really funny stories. There's so for the people that are watching Fight Game, it's a combat themed trivia game. So it's not only is it combat sports, but it's also, you guys would like this too. It's world combat history as well. So we got military type questions, war questions. So, who paid attention in school? We're going to find out. But we have 2 rounds of that specifically. But we also have a call your bluff round, which is, who's bullshitting and who's telling the truth. They got to figure out, what's true, what's not true. And Brian had some really funny stories. I mean, this guy's talking about he had to shit himself. So this guy had to take a shit. He was on the highway in his brand new Corvette. There was no gas station in sight. He's squeezing cheeks till he gets to a gas station. He finally gets to the gas station and he barely makes it to the bathroom. But the way he tells this story is so funny. And I believe Brian was on with Paulie Malignaggi. They were going against each other on that episode. And I believe that was episode 2 for season 1. So that's you guys are gonna enjoy that.
And now for those who don't know Brian Cage, you said he's AEW, he's Ring of Honor. He's a gigantic heavyweight
monster
pro wrestler, right? Like
the beast. He's
a humongous dude. He just mentioned Paulie Malignaggi. Of course, we got Paulie up there. He's a good friend of yours, right?
Yeah, me and Paulie are from the same neighborhood in Brooklyn.
That's right.
Paulie's a good friend of mine, great guy, very intelligent dude. And he was very entertaining on this episode. Actually, a fun fact about him is that he was back in, I think, 2009, they did a commercial for the return of Punch-Out on Nintendo Wii. And Paulie played Little Mac in the commercial.
No,
really? It is fucking hilarious. And I have the footage on the episode, and you'll see some of the footage. He's dressed as Little Mac, training, running with Doc on the, by the bridge and all that good stuff.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, really funny.
Love that. Here we go. We got Chris Algieri.
Chris Algieri, yeah, man.
You got
kickboxing champ, and then we got Austin Gunn.
Austin Gunn is another pro wrestler.
He's with the AEW. He's also the son of the badass Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn, no way. Degeneration X.
Wow.
DX, man. Suck it.
Yeah, suck it, dude. And that dude's still wrestling too, right? Isn't Billy Gunn
he's still with he's with AEW too with his son. Yeah, he's jacked out of his mind. He just fought Jeff Jarrett. I saw, and Jeff Jarrett was jacked out too.
Nice.
They're on that.
I want to be like these guys when I grow up.
They're on that Donald Cerrone Liver King diet right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys see that about Donald Cerrone? I love that. I love Donald Cerrone. I love how somebody made a comment about a picture of his, and he's like, "Oh, it's easy to get that big when you're on that secret sauce." And Donald Cerrone comments right under it. He goes, "There ain't no secret." And then he came out and he talked about it. He goes, "I walked around my whole life 170 pounds. Now I'm done fighting. I'm outside the USADA pool, and I'm on that good shit, and I'm walking around 220. Just huge.
Yeah, bro. Listen, have fun.
Fuck, why not?
Have fun, man. Dr.
Bo
Bo,
Hightower.
that's my boy.
Tell us about Dr. Bo. I don't know much about him.
Dr. Bo is like a celebrity chiropractor. He does. If you subscribe to his channel on YouTube, he's got over 1 million subscribers.
He's the dude that does like the loud pops.
And he's got the hammer with the chisel.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So he does all the UFC fighters, a lot of the wrestlers. He's really, and his office is at Jackson Wink in Albuquerque, New Mexico. No, so that's how he got. Yeah, he got started out there. You know, he was struggling for a long time, and then he got this office at Jackson Wink, and everything changed for him. He started recording videos, putting them on YouTube with the UFC fighters, and of course, it blew up. And the rest is history. He's making shit ton of money.
Did he live near you at one point?
No, Dr. Bo does a lot of work down here in Miami.
Okay.
So you know, like we'll get together time to time. He'll call me up. Like I just spoke to him the other day, and I usually like you know, I'll hook him up with some guests to get on his show and stuff like that. So like I did a show with Shannon Briggs, and I hooked him and Dr. Bo up. We went to Shannon's house. We did the whole episode there.
That must be what I saw.
Okay,
you guys were all together and you were in a house, and
yeah, that was Shannon's house. Yeah, okay. That was Shannon's house. And then I did one with Yuli and stuff. There he is. There's my guy.
This guy right here.
I saw the Yuli one. That's the one I saw.
Okay.
Now you reminded me. I do remember that now.
Yeah. Yep. Dr. Bo's a great guy, man. Great dude. A lot of fun to be around. Shannon, forget it. The best. I love Shannon. Shannon's my long lost black brother.
Yeah.
Like I think me and him are related at some point somewhere down the road, because me and Shannon we vibe so good, man. We crack up, we crack jokes all the time. Shannon I remember the first time I went to Shannon Briggs' house. So what was funny was that I show up, Dr. Bo's with me, and we're walking in his house. He's got a big, beautiful house down in Miami, and everything's white. You know, the floor, everything, floor to ceiling, white, beautiful. Clean as hell, spotless. So as I walk in, big old Shannon Briggs, 6'4", fucking 250 pounds or more. God knows what he is now. He's fucking huge. And he's like, hey, champ, do me a favor. Take your shoes off, because my wife will go nuts if you walk around the house with your shoes on. So as big as he is, so we always joke about that. We joked about it on the episode we did, because him and Dr. Bo went against each other. And as a matter of fact, I believe that's episode 3. That was the most competitive episodes for season 1 so far that we've had, because those guys were neck and neck, man. They were answering. They were just bang. They got everything right, one after the other. I was like, damn. I was like, okay.
Some people really impress you on that. Like you ask these questions thinking like, oh, he's going to stump some people. And then they get on there. They start fucking hitting the answers. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, you know, that's the funny thing about the show. You know, we'll throw some real hard ones in there just to see. And then we'll throw some like dummy ones in there, because, you know, like you watch some of these shows, like, you know, they go around New York City asking like ridiculously stupid questions, and people cannot answer them correctly. So we want to throw those in just to see, you know, but there was some pretty difficult ones. Like, I mean, like I tell people, I may host the show, me and Catalina host it. By the way, Catalina is a phenomenal co-host, by the way. Super talented, beautiful, of course, funny as hell, witty, intelligent. I mean, I couldn't have picked a better co-host to do this with, you know. And we were just cracking up, because, you know, it's just funny to see, you know, Briggs just boom, one after the other. It's like, damn, Shannon. All right. Damn. Okay. Okay.
So do you act like you knew all the answers before the questions were asked? Like when you guys were putting together the show,
of course.
Are you that Alex Trebek type that act like you knew all the answers fucking from day one, and everybody's stupid not knowing the answers?
Nah, I don't fuck with people like that. As a matter of fact, I actually on one of the episodes I was like, just so you guys know, just because we host the show doesn't mean we know shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're going on Google, you know, we're trying to get some fun questions and stuff like that. But I tell you, one interesting round that we do have, it's called Your History. Not as in you are, but your. And it's based on their industry. So if you're a pro boxer or a fighter or, you know, an influencer, whatever your industry is, we're going to ask you questions based on your industry. We want to see if you're an expert in your own field. So putting people on the spot, and it's pretty funny, some of these answers that we were getting from them. So every contestant has we call a standing 8 count. So again, everything is as combat related as we can make it. So the bell rings when the round starts.
Love
You
it.
know, the intense music hits, and they have 8 seconds to answer each question. That's their standing 8. And it makes it fun and exciting and fast paced, you know.
Nice.
Can you tell us, did most people know a lot about their own industry, or were they taken
Some shocked me. Some shocked me. I was like, come on, like we did an episode with for anybody that's a wrestling fan, Eddie Kingston. He's a big on the indie scene, but now he's with AEW. He's got a big following, fellow New Yorker. There he is. If you haven't seen this guy, just YouTube him. His promos are unreal. They're unreal. Like he fucking went head to head with Chris Jericho, and Jericho's a legend. And Eddie Kingston just goes.
Anybody want to know about like him before being an AEW? I watched that whole I think it was the Vice channel did the Dark Side of Wrestling, and it was like all these like mini documentaries about like crazy shit, like the Chris Benoit thing, and there was an episode on underground death matches. And Eddie Kingston used to be in them things. And these are like the most violent, realist fucking things. You like a dude gets stabbed in the fucking like side of under the armpit with a broken light bulb. Boom. And the dude starts leaking. He almost fucking died. They had to Eddie Kingston was in that shit. And now he's like a legit pro, like he's doing like making money pro wrestling. I'm pretty sure those deathmatch guys were not making no fucking money. They was in backyards and stuff.
Nah, those guys ain't making shit, bro. They're not making a dime. But Eddie Kingston is like a legend on the indie scene. He's like 20 years doing it, and now he finally got up there. But it's great because the true wrestling fans, when they see a guy like him come up, it's tremendous. Like a CM Punk type. Indie scene, and now he made it. To the big scene. He wasn't like a factory built wrestler, He's just doing his own thing. The guy was
he don't look like the prototype wrestler.
Nah, he's not. He's a regular guy, bro. Yeah. I mean, no offense to Eddie, but I'm in better shape than Eddie, and I'm not a professional wrestler or anything like that. But Eddie was quite funny because we did the history round. He blew it. And I was like, Eddie, because you got to understand the way we have the show
for everything.
And the way we have the show set up is that me and Catalina, although we co-host together, we're against each other. So I have one contestant on my team. She's got one on her team. And then at the end of the season, whoever's got whoever was the loser out of the two of us, it's going to be me, of course, because I'm fucking getting my ass whooped right now. And but whoever's on my team is not doing good. I'm like, guys, what the fuck's going on here? Like I was actually riding Eddie Kingston a little bit because I'm like, bro, like I have to do something embarrassing. That's the bet. Like, we have a bet. Like whoever loses season 1 has to do something embarrassing. And I don't know what that is yet, but I have to do something embarrassing at some point. So
nice.
We'll see.
Eddie dragged you. Now the next guy on this list, we saw him. He's a former pro wrestler, but he was an MMA fighter before pro wrestling, and then he went into bare knuckle this year. Gentleman Jack Claffey. He impressed down in Orlando at BKFC. I want to say 25 back at the Kareem Royale. And the dude showed that he can stand and bang with those bare hands. I was very impressed by him. Took a little damage, won the fight. Tell us a little bit about him.
Jack's a great guy, man. Actually, I met Jack at the Hard Rock the first time, and he just showed up. I think it was at Knucklemania 2.
Yes.
And we did the interview. Lambert, interfered.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun setting that interview up. And I stayed, in touch with Jack, and I told him about the show that we're doing. Actually, he was so excited about it. And we did episode 1. So him and Chris Algieri go head to head on that episode.
The first episode.
And that's going to be our premiere episode on Sunday.
Nice.
And Jack was great. Jack, I don't know if you know this, but he lives on a houseboat. So he's out in the UK on a houseboat, and that's where he's
like a pirate.
Captain Jack. So that's where he did his episode. Jack's great, man. A lot of fun, funny dude. We had some funny moments on that episode. And actually, well, I can't tell you who wins and loses on that one. I gotta
don't do that.
keep the suspense. We got to keep the suspense. But it was actually a lot of fun. Yeah, Jack's a good dude, man. It was funny too. He had his wife fact checking in the background too while he was playing the game. So it's kind of funny too. It's the first time doing this show. So I don't know how people are gonna take to it, But the great thing about it was after me and Catalina would explain to the people that we're talking to about the show, they were super excited about it. They're like, wow, that's different. Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I want to compete and I get to go against somebody else. Like, hell yeah, sign me up. So, and then when the show starts and you could actually see the demeanor change on the guests because, once that question pops up, they're like, eager, like, come on. Like you'll see some people be like, come on, pull the next one up. Let's go. Like they get amped up. So it's pretty funny to see like how these people get. But even after the show, we asked every single guest, what'd you think? Honest opinion. Loved it. Very different, exciting. I want to do it again. I want to come back on. I'm like, all right, cool. So I think we're definitely on to something, man.
Well, a little fun fact about the Orlando fight card that Claffey was on is when we actually met Jake and Catalina, you were with them and you had like a really funny sketch that you did with them, which if people want to see it, go to Joe's social media and check it out because it was fun. I had no idea you even were putting that together at the time because you introduced us to them. Did you know them long before that? Before that night, or is that the first time you hung out with them?
Well, I met, let's see, we connected. Actually, I was hosting the MMA Uncensored podcast a while ago.
Yeah.
And I was doing that for about a year. And I had Catalina on, I had Jake on as well on different occasions. And we had some really, great, we had a great time on the podcast. And we ended up just staying in touch. And Jake was on as well. Jake and Ariel Helwani go head to head on one of the episodes. Like it's like episode 4. So basically, we stayed in touch and, Catalina hit me up and she was like, wow, I really like, your interviews and the content you've been putting out. I've been thinking about getting into, doing stuff like that. So I said, hey, look, BKFC is doing an event in Orlando. If you and Jake aren't busy and want to come through, I'll take you under my wing, kind of like what I did with Kendra Lust at Knucklemania 1. Kendra was the same situation. I did a podcast with her. We stayed in touch and she was like, I would love to, start doing these interviews too. And it was the same thing. I was like, just come with. Great collaboration opportunity. I'm helping somebody out that's interested in doing it, which I like to do anyway. And at the end of the day, it's fun. It's a good time.
And so you took that bump like a champ.
I took the bump like a champ, bro. Well, actually, you know what? Catalina's crazy because Catalina was like, she goes, Jake, because we're like, let's have some fun. So the mood was we did this whole little skit where I was like a fanboy and I wanted to be in the Jericho crew. I wanted to be with the Jericho Appreciation crew.
Inner circle there.
And the inner circle. And Jake brought the vest with him. We had it all set up and. I'm like getting him coffee and I'm like, yo, I got you tickets for the event tonight, front row. And, here's my hotel, I'm like, you guys got a room? No, we don't have a room. And then they take my room and they slam the door in my face and leave me hanging, Yeah. So like all that now at the end of the night, I'm interviewing Jake and I'm like, all right, Jake, I got you here. I got you on the spot. What's the story? I did this for you. I did that for you. I did this for you. Am I in the crew or what? And then he just decks me. And knocks me out cold. So I'll give you guys the inside scoop of that. So first of all, I had guys like Bobo O'Bannon, Joe Elmore, and a bunch of other people hitting me up in the DMs, and they were like, yo, that motherfucker hit you. Where's he at? We're going to fuck him up. We're going to kick his ass. What's his address? Like, seriously, fucking Elmore and Bobo were like, they were like, them two were like collaborating with each other, and they were like, yo, we got to fuck this guy up. And I was like, bro, this was a joke. This was all for fun.
That's what you call a mark, baby.
I had to tell them because I'm like, these guys are crazy enough to actually track them down. So I'm like, guys, listen, this was just for fun. But it looked real.
No, it looked great.
It sounded
good.
But
Catalina's crazy because Catalina's like, because we're trying to think, what are we going to do? What's going to be the spot? And Catalina's, I got a great idea, Jake. why don't you powerbomb Joe in the bare knuckle ring? I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, first of all, Jake's like 6'5". That's a long
he's
drop.
huge.
And they ain't no giving those fucking rings. I'm like, hell no.
No.
I say, just punch me. And so that's what he did. But Jake gave me a legit, I told him, I said, do it. I'll sell it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I mean, although it was a checked punch and it was, I felt that for a few days. That was a stinger.
Yeah, because it's like I was just saying, it sounded good. There's a good pop to it, a good slapping noise. So you could hear that. I just watched it today again because I was showing somebody at work who you were. I was showing them your videos with the with Nunzio and the gang,
Yeah.
So
it's an Italiano.
Yeah. So I was going through all your videos and stuff, and I happened to come across Jake Hager, and I was talking about, and I was watching some of his videos, and you mentioned how big he is. Man, he's got a video where he comes into a hotel room. First of all, he looks like he's gonna hit his head's gonna fucking scrape against the ceiling in a hotel room, right? And like he's changing his shirt. He's like in the mirror and he like changed his shirt, and then he's like pointing at the camera. And then in the next scene, Catalina's with him. She looks like she's a little kid next to him. Like it looks like a grown ass adult and like a little kid. Like she is so tiny next. He's just a gigantic man. Even in WWE or in AEW, he looks like a big guy against the other dudes.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Yeah, he's solid 6'5", 6'6", big guy.
Just
we got a picture. We got a picture on our Instagram, on our show's Instagram page, of me and Mike standing with him. You probably took the picture, to be honest with you, Joe.
Yeah, probably did.
But Mike
I had about 17 Jack and Cokes that night.
Yeah, Mike and I are about up to his like right about here on his shoulders, and he's like this with us. He's a fucking massive dude. And you said you mentioned
children. He pushed us away. And said, children.
No, he actually we asked him if he wanted to come on our show one day, and he said he would.
Yeah.
When he has time, and obviously that AEW is blowing up like like equivalent to WWE nowadays. So I can't imagine like pro wrestlers. They're on the road all fucking year long, and they're working all year long. So I don't know how those guys do it, man. And you mentioned that he's on your show against somebody that like we strive to be in the industry, like the godfather of combat sports podcast. This guy right here, Ariel.
Yeah, we had a good one.
Helwani, man. How the hell did you get him on the show? Like you
That's
guys
the nose. That's the nose. Me and Ariel have a heated rivalry for many. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, Ariel's a cool dude. We had a good time. That was actually Catalina. That's credit to Catalina. Catalina's a very hard worker. She's a go-getter. She's just like me, man. That's why me and her get along so well. We work well together, is because she's constantly networking and trying to get guests on, just like me. And she actually knows Ariel. And that's how we got Ariel on. So credit to Catalina for that. That was my first time interacting with Ariel. But, we go an hour straight. We're on, I think episode 4. And it's just nonstop jabs back and forth. Even me and Ariel were going back and forth. And then, Jake and Ariel are going back and forth. Catalina's in the mix. And it was cool. It was like your friends getting together and just hanging out and playing the game and talking shit. It was...
That guy has been owning motherfuckers on his show lately. Like people been shooting at him constantly, and he just comes through live on his show with receipts.
Why not?
Like text messages and voicemails, and he's like, he took out Patty Pimblett. He took out
Well, I saw what happened with that. Yeah.
He took out fucking Brendan Schaub. Like he's just been like.
Yeah, but why not? I mean, look, if people are going to start talking shit about you, you got to defend yourself.
Yeah,
you can't just sit there, I've had people say things about me, and I'm just like, well, fuck you, like, it's like anything in life, bro. All right, if you have a social media platform, you're doing interviews, or, you could be working at fucking Burger King. It doesn't matter if somebody's going to try you and you're going to take it, well, then you're a bitch. You got to defend yourself, unless you're wrong, unless you did something stupid, then you got to take it. But fuck it. Who cares? All right. He's working with fighters. They could definitely kick his ass. You know what I'm saying? But at least he's still standing up for himself. What the fuck?
Know what it is?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
What blows my mind with all of his beefs, everyone that goes at him is proven wrong with text message threads, voicemails, And none of these guys think think that he has all the receipts and all the proof to just like demolish. And he does it every single time. And I'm like, one of these guys is going to stop shooting at Ariel because he's the GOAT for a reason. And that's who
he's the GOAT. That's how I introduced him on episode 4 as the GOAT, Actually, it was funny too, because we're doing this episode and, I was like, Ariel had this all planned out. I know he did, but he ended up getting a couple of questions wrong. And he was right away, this is the Montreal screw job. He was already going that route,
Yeah.
I was like, I knew you were going to go that route. I was like, I knew you were going to use that Montreal screw job shit.
Well,
but that was a lot of fun. He was very funny. He did a promo like to start the show on Jake, and it was fucking hilarious.
Oh,
I'm like, damn, Ariel. Yeah, it was good. He cut a fucking promo right out the gate on that episode. It was funny as hell.
Well, I can't wait. We have a couple of clips. Let's play one of them right now. And then when we come back, we'll talk about it, and then we'll talk about the other few guests that we haven't spoken of yet. All right, Here we go.
Let's do
Fite Game.
You guys reached out to me, you asked me to come on, and you offered me an opportunity to be on this great program, and I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and it's a great idea, and I'm very excited about it.
B, it's so detailed that it looks like it has to be B. Like, who would make up that much details and then it's not even true? Sorry.
How many knockouts did Joe Louis have in his pro career? A, 49, B, 52, C, 50.
This European explorer was known for leading the first official expedition to Florida. A. Ponce de Leon, B. Pedro Cabral, or C. Benicio del Toro.
Dude, tell me one of those guys said Benicio del Toro.
Hilarious, right? So that
did I see a mustache, Joe? Did I see a mustache in the
Movember, bro? Couple days, Movember, bro. Just the stash, the stash.
Distinguished gentleman over there.
Oh yes, very much so. Look like a fucking pedophile / Super Mario, bro. I had to get rid of that. 3 days later was enough. I'm like, I can't walk around like this. It's just not possible. Listen.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Catalina comes up with the way how we work it is like, so if we have our guests, so like, all right, Cat, who do you want on your team? So like, I'll take this one. I was like, I'll take that one. So then we find questions that we're gonna ask. So I produce, I'll do the production side of it. So I get all the questions and answers and I put them all up like you guys know, the deal. So she'll come up with like this one random, like a Benicio del Toro, and she's got an obsession with Medea's house. So there's there's always a Medea in there. There's a Medea somewhere sprinkled in this every episode. There's a Medea. And I got to tell you, some people are kind of like thinking about it, like Medea. I don't know. Maybe it could be a Medea right there. Yo, it's funny shit. So yeah, we're trying to see if we can get somebody on a stupid answer that will actually bite the bait and take it.
Dude, so let me tell you a Medea story real quick before we keep going. I was deployed 2003-4, right? And we're living in tents. It's tent city overseas, and we all had laptops, but we had a fucking TV with a DVD player in our tent, and we would take turns picking DVDs to watch, right? So like everybody, it's like 8 guys in a tent. 7 of us pick something new like every fucking time. Like we pick something, we pick, Goodfellas, we pick whatever. This dude, the best guy in the history of the world, his name was Alan Jenkins, this light-skinned black dude, fucking his voice was like this. He talked like this. He'd be like, oh, all right. Oh, all right. You go, oh, it's my turn?
Hey, Mish, go.
Dude, no fucking word of a lie. This dude picked Medea's. It was a Medea live play. It was before they started making Medea movies. It was a live play filmed. It was like a Broadway Medea DVD that this motherfucker would play every goddamn time. And when we would give him shit, we'd be like, Jenkins, pick something else. Enough with the fucking Medea. He would go, oh, okay, we watching Drumline. That was the other one, dude, with Nick Cannon. I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to fucking hit him so bad. It was like,
that movie sucks.
Yeah, dude, like
I'd rather go to sleep in silence or fucking hear bullets whizzing by my head than watch that shit.
Yeah, every time I hear the word Medea, I think Al Jenkins, man, that motherfucker. Shout out to Al.
He's a character way beyond this story, I'll tell you.
I bet. Sounds like he needs his own show.
He's one of the funniest people. I won't say the word because I don't want to get us canceled. I would say it because I don't give a fuck, but I'm not gonna do it. He would not curse. He would not swear. He would not say anything bad, but he would constantly use the word that rhymes with maggot and starts with an F. Constantly.
I would say it, but I won't.
Yeah.
Just so you know, in real life, I would say it. But
me too.
For the sake of the podcast,
he says it all. He would say it all the time. Yo, that guy, I didn't know him for as long as Kyle did, but he was a real character. Like he's somebody funny. You couldn't even get mad at him. It was just so funny. But let's get back to the show.
Yeah, absolutely hilarious. Medea. Now, these last two guys are top-notch, high-level MMA fighters. One from the UFC, one from the Bellator.
Oh yeah,
dude. This guy, the Maverick, the Maverick himself, Michael Chiesa.
Yeah.
You got him on the show. How did Michael Chiesa do on the Fite Game? He seems like a funny guy.
Mike was blazed out of his mind when we did this episode, actually. and not talking shit, Mike was pretty open about it. He was out in Colorado when we did this episode. That's where he's at. And he was talking about it. You know, we were all pretty lit that episode, actually. I mean, I think I was drinking tequila, some shit. Cat's always got a drink in hand. He was definitely blitzed. I even think Archuleta was too in that episode. I think everybody was partying. That was like a party episode. That one that we did. And so it was Archuleta and Chiesa going head to head on that one. Juan Archuleta, shout out to that guy because he's such a cool dude, man. We had a blast on that
Juan
episode.
Archuleta is a cast member of one of the greatest TV shows ever made. You guys know that?
Yes.
You talking about Kingdom?
Kingdom, baby. Oh man,
love that show. I love that show.
I would do like anything to get a fourth season of that. Even right now, even though it canceled.
I couldn't believe it ended and that was it. Yeah,
I know.
Juan Archuleta was one of the main coaches for Alvy in the gym at Navy Street.
And I got something to say right now. Mike Beltran.
Yeah.
Better get back to me, Mike, because you're supposed to come on Fite Game, bro. What happened? Mike Beltran. Let's go.
The beard himself. Are you willing to throw down with Mike if he wants to with you?
If I had like 20 guys behind me, helping me out. Guy's a beast. Mike is the man. I did a podcast with Mike during COVID. He was quarantined. He was at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. There was a Bellator event going on the next night. So Mike's in his fucking pent up, and me and Mike are texting, and Mike's like, bro, he's like, I'm down to just podcast all night with you, bro. He's like, because I'm stuck in this room. I was like, all right, let's talk about everything under the sun. And it was a blast. We talked about Kingdom and how he was on the show and that whole experience. And there's just a ton of stuff that we talked about. And Mike is a great, great guy. But I hit up Mike and I was like, yo, Mike, because, Mike's big time. Mike's on, TV shows, man. He's on that other one, the Mayans, the motorcycle.
The Mayans,
yeah.
Mayans Inc.
Dope
I
show.
didn't know he was on there.
Yeah.
Or no, Mayans MC, right? Mayans MC. That's what's called.
I think that's what. Yeah. That's all that motorcycle gangs and stuff. And Mike's a superstar.
He's a former Marine too, right, or something like that.
Former Marine. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Tough dude.
He's a cop too,
obviously.
Right?
Yeah, he's a cop. Wow. He's a sheriff.
Dude, all over the place, man.
That guy is and a great friggin' guy. But I told him about Fite Game. I'm like, Mike, you want to come on? And then like we were talking about it, and then the last message I sent him, I just saw a scene, and he never responded. I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't getting away that easy. I'm gonna get you. So my game plan is I'm gonna let season 1 ride, and then after season 1, I'm coming back after Mike. So Mikey Beltran,
They'll be on season 2.
You got to get Mikey Beltran versus Big John McCarthy.
Ooh, that would be a good one. Very good. See that? I like that. So I want to tell you guys something. So we have an interesting thing that we're doing with this show. It's called the Final Boss. So, when you play a video game, you got a final boss that you got to go up against, King Koopa and Super Mario and all that shit. So we have every season, we're going to have a final boss. That's going to be the championship round. And the final boss will pop up on screen, and they're going to ask the final question. They're the boss for season. So for season 1, we have AEW superstar Daddy Magic, who's a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society, and he is absolutely hilarious. So he's our season 1 final boss.
Nice.
And every season we're going to have a new one. So we just don't know who's going to be. You never know who's going to be season 2 yet. But I'm going to give you guys a little something here on the Mike and Mish show. Because you guys are my boys, and I want to thank you very much for having me on. But just a little Easter egg for you guys. The Big Show will be coming on Fite Game.
Nice. That is awesome.
Yes, we got the Big Show coming on.
Is he coming on the next season, or is he making an appearance this
I'm
season?
Actually so Catalina's is working on that one. And we're going to try to, so we're not done with season 1 yet. We actually, we're doing 8 episodes per season for right now until maybe we'll make some changes. But for right now, 8 episodes sounds pretty good. We filmed 6 episodes so far, so we still have 2 episodes to film. Good. Holidays came up, took a little hiatus, but it's fine because I've been doing all the editing for this season. So hopefully we'll get him on for season 1. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you got to zoom the camera way back for a podcast like this. That dude's gonna look like he's gonna be like this.
Yeah, beast mode. And
that's
now,
awesome,
so
man.
we have some other cool things that we're doing with this show. A lot of social media stuff, different things that we're doing. One of which is call outs. Call outs is going to be our particular bread and butter for the podcast. So you're going to see guests calling out other people to come on the show too, in a very interesting way. It's cool. Really cool. It's really cool the way it's set up. As a matter of fact, I think when people see this, they're gonna definitely bite off of this because it's too good. Nobody's doing it. It's too good. I think people are gonna start stealing this little thing, and that's fine too. But yeah, it's gonna be fucking cool.
I love the idea. I love it a lot, man, because I'm a trivia buff myself. I am.
Perfect.
A lot of people know that I'm a fucking black hole of useless information, especially when it comes to like pop culture and obviously sports and movies and music. That's like my bread and butter. School shit, I wouldn't do so well in that category.
Me either, bro. I slept in school.
We haven't even talked about like where are people watching this show? On January 1st is the premiere, everybody.
Yes.
January 1st. What time? Where? Tell us all that.
Thank you very much. So tune in for video. It's going to be on YouTube. You can subscribe at Fite Game, Fite Game. It's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. January 1st will be the premiere. And it looks like every Sunday at 5 p.m. it will be released on YouTube to watch if you want to listen to it. Like I said earlier, if you're in your car on your way to work, if your wife is breaking your balls and you just want to, go for a walk and listen to something, you can tune in. If you're taking a shit, I get bored when I'm taking a shit, so I want to do things while I'm shitting. You can listen. You could listen to it on Amazon. You can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all your favorite podcast platforms. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe. Do the right thing. Don't be a fucking stunod. Subscribe.
Do it.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. It's fun.
Mike, why when they did this graphic, was Joe's chest not exposed underneath that sports coat the way Catalina's was? I
A lot of hair. A lot of hair over there.
Yeah,
I still find myself staring at Joe, though. I don't understand. It's the natural attraction, I think.
All shaved, the hair slicked back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
wow.
I like
Barely
the
even
blazer.
noticed her over there.
I really like the blazer.
Even you gotta have the blazer.
What
bro,
color
you know?
was
That
it, Mike?
It was gray.
It was great.
Go back to because I don't know.
Yeah, it was gray. You're right.
Yeah,
Good call.
see what a nice blue.
The
shirt.
problem-
I
the
like
problem
it.
is-
I told you I
the
was
problem-
looking at him.
The problem is it's the eyes, bro. Once you make eye contact with
Yeah.
me, everything changes. That's fucked up. I know.
Sucked my soul
Been
out.
dealing with it my entire life.
It's a gift and a
Fucking
curse.
crazy.
You gotta
It's
beat
a
'em
gift
up.
and a curse. It's a
We-
double-edged sword.
You'll
you
have
know-
to carry around a wooden spoon, Joe.
Yeah, well, my mother broke one off my arm when I was about 8 years old. Then she took the metal spoon out and started whooping me with that.
Oh,
I
shit.
thought I got off easy until that came. That I got
Oh,
graduated to that. And that's when I was getting into trouble.
Oh man. We got another clip of the show. We want to
do.
play that one real quick. We'll play
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll wrap it up, and
Sounds
then
good.
we will. I want to ask you a couple questions before we get off here.
Let the keyboard warrior versus the real fighter go head to head. We're gonna
I'm going to say 1942. My wife is telling me that's definitely wrong.
We're gonna find out, okay? That guy's gonna get his shit in either way. So
listen. You get your shit in, and if you push your shit in, that's always good too. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's good. Okay.
Only if you're on the giving side, it's good. You know what I mean? Not on the receiving.
But so I literally was gonna shit my pants. It was on my brand new Corvette. I'm like, I'm not like I'm on the highway. There's nothing there, and I got to shit so bad. As I told her, I'm like, I'm sweating. I got the gun. I'm dying.
Hey, we sparred. Every time I got in close, the body odor on this guy was horrible. I mean, it was like suffocating. I remember I would be in the clinch and I'd want to take my head out like this, and then I'd end up getting hit and I was like, wow, this is really an advantage if somebody smells, because like.
Now we got to tune in. I got to know who. I hope he names whoever the
No, he
body odor
does.
person. Oh, good.
Oh yeah. I tried getting it out of because the subject came up about body odor. I don't even remember how it came up, but I was like, yo, Brian, I was like, you know, out of all the guys you've wrestled, who stunk the worst, you know? And he, you know, the way he described it, in my opinion, he didn't name drop. He was like, but it's somebody that's very popular, has been around a long time. So I'm thinking Chris Jericho is who he was talking about. He said, there's a guy that is very popular. He still wrestles to this day. He's a legend. He's been around forever. He stinks. He's the worst. So in my mind, I'm thinking Chris Jericho, right? But I don't know. He never mentioned who it was. But if I had to guess, I think he was talking about that.
Disgusting.
Horrible.
Joe, are we going to see you at any events anytime soon? Mike and I will be in Myrtle Beach. We'll be at Knucklemania 3 in February. We're looking at we're looking at Virginia in March. But are you still going to be covering the sport? Are you going to be going to any events? What are we doing?
I would love to. Yeah, I mean, you know, everybody knows I love BKFC. I love the bare knuckle. I've been, you know, following it almost since day one. You know, the first event I covered was BKFC 8 in Tampa at the Florida Fairgrounds. That was Gonzaga and Bigfoot, and that was phenomenal. I was hooked ever since. But it's just been the schedule's been a little crazy. I got back into acting again, so I've been going on auditions for TV and movies and stuff like that. So my schedule's a little crazy, but it's just like, you know, it's last minute almost. You know, if I know I'm able to make it, I want to get out there. I want to I want to be at these events. I love the BKFC and I really enjoy going there and watching the fights, and of course, you know, doing the interviews and helping the fighters promote their fights. You know, I know how hard these people work. So, you know, I always want to help them as much as I can and be a part of it. It's exciting. I don't know yet. I'm trying to, you know, still get this show up and running. And I'm about halfway done with the edits for season 1. And then, you know, with the acting and stuff too, trying to get that going again too. I got into the Screen Actors Guild in 2011. I did some pretty decent work with it, but you know, there's so much more work that I could do with it, and kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit, just because you know, when I was in the guild, it was different because back then it was you got to go. You know, it's like, hey, you know, your agent will call you up. It's fucking 9 a.m. and they're like, hey, 1 p.m. You got to go down to South Beach and do an audition. And it's like, fuck, you know, now I'm like, it's a Tuesday. You know what I mean? So it's like, I got to figure out a way to get out of work or take a lunch break and fucking fly down to and try to, you know, prepare for an audition where you don't even get the sides till you get to the audition, and then you got to kind of wing it, you know. Now everything has changed. Because of, you know, the COVID era and technology has enhanced. Now you could literally do your auditions in your living room, video record it, and send it in. And then if they like you, they'll call you for a call back, and then you'll go meet with them and do another, you know. So now the game has changed, and it's like, hey, I gotta have to, you know, do this because now I could do that, and I gotta put this sad card to use. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really trying to get that going. I want to make Fite Game a studio show. That's something that we're working on as well, to actually make it a live in studio show. The guests will come in and it'll be more cleaned up, and, you know, real true professionals will do the editing and stuff like that. So that's what we're working towards. And you know, that, but yeah, I mean, I would love to, man, you know, the Knucklemania 3 already, Lorenzo Hunt versus Mike Richmond for the belt. I mean, that right there, I'm like all in with that. Like, I cannot wait to see that fight, because that fight is going to be like, I don't even know which way it's going to go either, you know, because that's a tough one. Like, usually when Lorenzo fights, I'm like, Hunt's got this. Yeah. Because I'm very confident in Lorenzo Hunt. Like, he's such a great fighter, tough guy. And, you know, time and time again, he has proved how great he is. And then you got a guy like Mike Richmond. I mean, the guy's a beast. And I like, you know what I like about Mike Richmond too? Mike Richmond's like running strip clubs. He's walking around, he's all suited out, chilling, you know, living the life. And then, you know, now he's, you know, in training mode and doing his thing. He's a true professional. He's a tough guy, former Marine as well. You know, so, you know, the guy, I got a lot of respect for him. And I think him and Lorenzo Hunt are going to put on a phenomenal, I mean, that's a great main event. They did a great job with that.
Oh, man.
And Mike proved in his last fight how resilient, how strong, how tough that fucking dude is. Obviously, know how skilled he is. We know how good he is with his hands, how
he's powerful,
pinpoint accurate he is when he throws his strikes, and how strong he is when he lands them.
Yeah.
But in that Doolittle fight, he withstood a 159 fucking punch barrage in that second round, took a ton of damage, lived through it, recouped in the corner, and knocked him out. You know, got the knockout in the third round. Like, he proved that it's going to take a fucking whole lot to put him down. Because me and Mike were 20 feet from the ring that whole time.
I could not believe what I was seeing.
That place, Joe, that place was going
ballistic.
Wow. Insane. When Doolittle had him up against the ropes and just would not stop throwing strikes at him. And, you know, Mike's doing his dips and he's taking shots and he's trying to return. And we're like, any second now he's going to drop. Any second now. The crowd,
or the ref is going to step in.
I thought so too.
Or the ref is going to step in and be like, that's enough. The ref, I don't know. I don't even know who, if it was Andrew Glenn or if it was Big John. I mean,
it was
Big Dan.
It's Big Dan.
It Dan?
You know, shout out to him for knowing like, I always say that about the referees, man. I love it when the referees know the fighters that are in the ring and they know what they're capable of.
Exactly.
Because they do not want to be that referee that robs a guy when you know damn well that dude had more in him, you know?
Yeah.
And he did it that night. Unbelievable. So that main event's going to be unreal. I can tell you right now, just like through the grapevine a little bit, I would expect to see Misfit. I would expect to see Big Ben Rothwell and Mike Perry. I would expect to see all three of those guys on that card.
Absolutely.
Along with Lorenzo and the Dotsons. I would imagine.
Okay, so since we're talking about, you know, Mike Perry, there is, so I got a couple of things. So I know Mundell and Perry, there's definitely been some little chit chat, you know, middleweight title.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
But we gotta respect Francesco Ricci as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right. He had a bad night.
Everyone
had a bad night against Mundell, of course. But Ricci's he's a warrior. He's a champ, you know, former champ, and he has to, you know, I almost would like to see Ricci and Perry first.
Oh yeah,
before Perry and
That bad
Mundell,
blood.
and two reasons, right? A, the bad blood, because there's
Mhm.
some personal stuff there, and B, it's hard to, Perry, and much respect to him because he's great. He's 2-0, but Ricky, I mean, he went what 6-0, 5-0 before he got that loss.
Yeah.
I think he's 5-1.
And he just, okay, and he just lost the belt.
Yeah.
I would like to see, because of the history already that's there, Mike Perry and Ricky, I would like to see have a fight first before anything. And
I would love to see that.
But yeah, oh yeah, me too. And Misfit, definitely. She's got to defend the belt. The question is who? The question is,
right.
that's the question. Like who? I mean, out of respect for BKFC and the sport and how they're building it up and all the people that are working really hard to, all the fighters that are working really hard to build up this promotion and the sport, I would hate to see anybody jump the line from another organization. But in this particular situation, yeah, in this situation, I think, especially with Knucklemania being such a big event, I honestly would think that the move would be to try to bring somebody from UFC to fight Misfit for the title.
Yeah.
Because that division, and much respect to all the ladies in that division, they're killing it. They just haven't had enough fights yet to really prove who is like the clear-cut number one contender in that division. So I would like to, but I want to see a mega fight and fuck it, bring somebody in. I mean, hey, they could bring somebody in for a title fight. That's not going to take away from anybody else in the division that's still working their way up. They're going to get their shot. You know what I mean? So I would like to see something crazy like that. And I think Feldman could pull it off. That guy's like, I don't even think that guy sleeps, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what? And we
so
talked to Dave last night, and David was great. And we learned so much about his life last night. It was insane. His life's a movie for sure.
Yeah.
And I wanted to address something since you brought up Misfit. I wanted, and we got some Misfit fans. I know we got the Misfit loyals in the comments right now, guys. When we put a guy on the spot in a speed round, and we ask him for his Mount Rushmore, and he rattles off who he said last night, right? Yeah.
Did you see who he said?
So he said Artem Lobov, Paige Van Zandt, Lorenzo Hunt, and who was the fourth one? It was like Joey Beltran or something like that. Either way.
Yeah,
for bare knuckle, for BKFC.
For BKFC.
Right.
And now people are pissed about this. People are pissed about it.
Paige Van Zandt, I don't see that.
As soon as he said it, I was like,
Palomino. He said Palomino and Hunt.
Okay.
Now,
Palomino,
I know.
Sure. That's
Yeah.
my number one pick.
Yeah.
So
And then
this is
Misfit would be my number two.
Right.
But I would say Misfit and Palomino technically are my number one.
He
tie,
he obviously wasn't thinking who are the best four fighters of all time.
Right.
He's thinking who have impacted the sport the most. And
he's looking business. He's probably looking business.
He was. And like, I'm not like going to bat for him.
Okay.
So do you guys really in a fucking million years think that if you asked David Feldman, who's the better bare knuckle fighter, Paige Van Zandt or Misfit, he's going to say Paige Van Zandt? No fucking way. If you went up and said, hey, who's the better fucking bare knuckle fighter, Artem Lobov or Johnny Bedford? He's going to say Johnny Bedford every fucking time. But the reason why
Johnny
he
Bedford.
was put on the spot,
sure.
He was put on the spot. He just got done telling us how he remortgaged everything he fucking owned because they were about dead in the water before Knucklemania 1. He had to really put all his chips in. He basically had nothing to his name. The event went off. It was a humongous hit. Why was it a humongous hit? Because Paige Van Zandt was on the card.
Oh, for sure. That was huge. That was huge.
So Artem Lobov versus Jason Knight was the one that opened up most of the UFC MMA fans' eyes, dude. That brought
still
them
the best
over.
Fight I've ever seen in bare knuckle.
Right. That fight, they both of them looked like they had zippers for faces. You know what I'm saying?
It was unbelievable.
No, and in the comments, I thought Mount Rushmore was for the GOATs.
Well,
no,
Mount Rushmore
look
is people
at
who built the country.
They built the country. Look at Dana White's Mount Rushmore. Chuck Liddell, Ronda Rousey, Royce Gracie, and Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, yes, GOAT. Royce Gracie, not GOAT. Royce Gracie won a couple tournaments in a row against a bunch of fucking bouncers and fucking bartenders, okay? No shot on him. He was great. But when he came back and MMA had established himself, he got his fucking ass whipped, right?
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, yes, was phenomenal for her run. But once she was found out, and she ran away from the sport. Ronda Rousey is on Dana White's Mount Rushmore because she built the women's division, and the women's
100%,
division
100%,
exists because of
100%.
Hoist Gracie is on it because he was there at 1 and 2 and 3, and he was the reason why it got popular. Those guys aren't the GOATs. You know what I mean? Like, take a step back and fucking think about why he said it on the spot.
It's from a business perspective, and I understand that. It's not my business.
I knew
right?
he was going to get shit for that.
I would listen.
As soon as he
of
said
course,
it, I was like, uh-oh.
well, look, I mean, and I respect all the fighters that get in there. They got a lot of guts and they work their ass off, and I respect all of them that get in there. Whether you are not good compared to everybody else or you're the best, you're still doing it, you know, and you're working your ass off to do that. And it takes a lot of guts and balls to get in there and do that because not everybody can. So, you know, first and foremost, but I think from a perspective of a fan that watches, and if you're watching from day one and you're watching all the fighters that have been competing and, you know, from, you know, BKFC 1 till now, we're on the 35th event coming up or what have you, you know, you have to really look at it from the perspective of, well, who's been there since day one? Who's been carrying this thing? And I get it. You know, yeah, you could bring a big name in that's established from another organization like the UFC. And yes, you could make money and get all the ticket sales. But who's your homegrown talent? You know what I'm saying? Who's the ones that have been there since day one? The OGs, the ones that have been riding with you, ride or die, day one, you know. And, you know, when I say bare knuckle, Mount Rushmore, if we're going to do the top 4 for me, Palomino, because Palomino, and why I picked Palomino, I mean, quite simple. Guy's undefeated. He's fought very tough competition. A lot of the people he's fought have been undefeated, and he's won. All right, he's not a knockout artist, but if you watch his fights, this guy is super technical. He's tough. He makes sure that he puts his opponents in very uncomfortable situations, and he's a great fighter. You know, at the end of the day, whether you love him or you hate him, and I know some people are like, you know, fuck him and this and that, but no, not at all.
He's on there for sure.
He's really a lot of fun to watch, and I enjoy Luis. You know, Christine Faria. I mean, I've been a fan of Christine. Christine Faria is my first true like connection to bare knuckle. You know, the first time I watched BKFC. I had no idea bare knuckle was legal yet. I watched BKFC 6, Lobov Malignaggi. And of course, I'm a Malignaggi fan. I know Paulie, and I've been a fan always. So when I knew he was fighting bare knuckle, I was like, bare knuckle's legal? I didn't even know this shit was really legalized this shit. And I'm like watching it. I was actually in Texas and I was watching. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I buy the pay-per-view. It was like $20 on Fight. So me and my buddy were watching it. I'm like, this is fucking nuts. And I'm like, I got to start. I want to interview because I was doing a podcast, but I had nothing to do with bare knuckle or anything like that. I'm going to start interview some of these fighters. I'm real curious about this. And I had Abby Velasquez on. He was my first, you know, BKFC fighter that I had on. And then from there, you know, it went where it went. But when I saw Faria fight and Jim Ehlers, those two, I was like, wow. I was like, holy shit. But something about Faria, I just automatically connected with, and I just loved her style and aggression. And, you know, I knew she was going in there. You know, I knew when I first saw Christine on TV, she definitely likes the same type of chicks I like. And B, she's a tough chick. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This girl could fight. Yeah. And I just
by the way, when she swings, you're like, oh shit. You can just see it, you know? It's like when you watch Cyborg, when you see Cyborg swing, you can see the power in those arms. Like, man.
Cyborg is probably the best comparison to her. And I actually had somebody like message me and be like, they should bring in Cyborg to fight Christine.
It'd be
And I'm
great.
like, my message to them was, do you guys realize how big Cyborg is?
She's
and how,
huge.
And how
She's
small
huge.
Christine is? Like, Christine
Right.
looks huge. Like, she looks jacked and huge compared to all these other 125ers.
Right. But she's not big.
But she doesn't walk around more than like 135 to 140. Cyborg walks around 175 and has a hard time cutting to 145.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And Cyborg's like 5'8", 5'9". Dude, the girl's
big.
a fucking monster.
And Christine, I think I want to say Christine's like 5'3", 5'4".
She's got to be
5'5".
around that.
I don't know,
because
but
when we took a picture with her, she had her
come on.
arms around her shoulders and she was like up, and we were much taller. Like she was kind of lifting herself up, and I'm 5'8". So
talent-wise and like stature, talent, the way they throw their punches, the power behind their punches, they are very, very similar in styles and skill and who they are. But as far as like them two fighting each other, I would be in fear for Misfit only because of the size difference. And I know that Misfit said that Cyborg is her idol. Like, I don't know if she'd ever even want to fight her idol. I don't know.
She probably would.
Well, they got to bring somebody in big.
You know who
they got to bring a big name for Misfit.
Let's get the other two here.
What? The Serrano sisters, or who you talking about?
No, I'm saying the next two.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore, yeah.
It would Lorenzo Hunt.
Yeah.
You know, but I still want to see Hunt and Trujillo fight.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like that fight
would be different now. I think
it would be different. But this guy Trujillo, and I want to see him fight more because that guy has like atom bombs in his fucking hands.
Yeah, he does.
That guy is special. He's got special fucking power. You know, he clipped Lorenzo and put Lorenzo down. Lorenzo's a tough fucking guy. He got right up, but when Lorenzo got up, I mean, I don't want to speak for Lorenzo, but from the way it looked to me is that he definitely wasn't 100% when he got up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that fight would have ended. I don't think it would have ended, I don't think it would have ended any different. But again, I don't want to put myself in his shoes. But I want to see Trujillo fight more. I just feel like Lorenzo's got that superstar quality. And I told Kevin Smith this at BKFC 14. I was talking to Kevin Smith, and I was like, I really see Lorenzo Hunt being the face of this BKFC. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, bro. He's got that star power quality about him. He's a tough, very good fighter. He's got that knockout power. I'm like, this guy is gonna be like one of your top guys. And
he takes over a room and I walks into it. Like if he's around and he walks in, he's got this aura he takes. We were talking about this on a show recently. He's there and he demands respect and he just gets he's
so big too. Like he's so big.
Yeah.
He's like the fact that he stays between the 185 and 205 weight class blows my mind because I'm 205.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And he seems just so much bigger than me. Like he is the size of a fucking doorway. You know what I mean? He's humongous.
Yeah.
And like Mike just said, when we were out in Denver, dude, there was Justin Gaethje in the room. There was Ben Rothwell in the room. There was Rose Namajunas. Yep. There was Kamaru Usman's brother was there. There was big stars in the room. Lorenzo Hunt comes walking in with a belt across his chest and belt around his waist. And like people are all like, Lorenzo, champ. Like they're coming over, they're taking pictures with him. He's fucking.
You know who Lorenzo Hunt is, right? Lorenzo Hunt is fucking Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's fucking Clubber Lang, bro.
Yes.
Lorenzo Hunt, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, he
Trust
does.
me on that. He knows what he's doing. And Lorenzo's fucking great guy. And every time I bullshit with him, even outside interviews, just shooting the shit, he's a very cool dude.
Yes.
But he's very confident in who he is. And he takes what he does very seriously. But he's a respectful guy. Aside from what other fighters may think of him, and I get it, you're all in the same arena, there's always that tension. But from my experience with Lorenzo, I've always enjoyed being around Lorenzo, talking to him, and he's that guy. So he's definitely my 3. So my 4, that's a good one because now it gets sticky because now it's like, damn, you got one left, and there's so many other good ones to pick. Who do you go with? and you got and I'm going off the cuff right now because I don't know. But obviously we could go with the champs, or we could go with OGs and people that have been there. That's a tough one, man. I would, give the circumstances because of injuries. I would really want to say Johnny Bedford. Bedford, and it sucks for Bedford because I know he was getting a lot of back injuries. The guy was getting hurt a lot, and he couldn't perform as much as I know he would want to.
Yeah.
And Johnny's a very cool dude and a very great guy, and I like Johnny a lot, and I've always enjoyed talking to Johnny. But it's hard to get him on that 4 spot because of the injuries and the low activity.
Yeah.
Man. And then if we look at heavyweights, I mean, Beltran, I love Beltran because that guy's
Arnold.
tough as fucking nails. Arnold Adams is another one. I want to see him fight more too. I want to see him fight more. I think I know. And that's all right. So the thing with Reggie, and you already know what I'm going to say, is the Bedford fights, right?
Right.
Yep.
Those are the things, those are the things. And I love Reggie, and I think Reggie's a great fighter.
Fantastic.
And he's Reggie's one of those guys that keeps getting better. Every time he fights, he keeps getting better and better and better. But there's always that Johnny Bedford shit, where
and now
he had the 2 fights.
And now we won't see them fight again.
No.
Unfortunate, right? Unfortunate little cloud that will always be there. That's tough. Man, that's a tough one. I may have to come back to you guys on
Dude,
that.
there's another one that you
because it's such a good. Now this is like a whole new podcast. Now you know that, right?
Right. Hey,
Yeah,
you know who's another one that could make this list, but she has 3 losses on her record, but she's right behind Misfit, and she might have done more for the sport than a lot of the guys. Britain 6-3,
sure,
9 fights. She's only lost to Misfit twice, and she avenged the 1 loss against Beck. She's the first champion at 115 pounds.
Definitely.
There could be 2 women and 2 guys on that Mount Rushmore.
I don't see why not.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Britain is super. So what I like about Britain Hart is that A, super tough. B, the girl constantly improves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you watch her first fight, when she fought Beck up until now, it's a totally different fighter.
Oh, yeah.
This girl has evolved so quickly. She got tough. If you watch the first fight with her and Misfit, I know that thing got stopped, but you could tell how Misfit was in control. That next fight Misfit had, she had problems.
It was a close fight.
We all watched that. Yeah.
I think we were all standing together fucking watching that fight.
Yeah, we were. And it was an exciting fight to watch. And Britain is, I like to call Britain is like you feed the UFC fighters the Britain when they get to BKFC, and she's like the UFC killer. She fucking beat Paige. She beat Pearl. And I know that was
she just beat Beck.
That was a controversial win because of the the stats and all that, but she won the fight. And then Beck, so Britain's great, man, and I always like watching her fight too. So yeah, it's definitely somebody to consider too. Man, that's tough. And then Ricky too. Ricky, he's fought some good competition. Tough guy.
It's a toughie.
It is a toughie.
It's a toughie.
It's such a. It's such
where
a
the sport
good...
is right now too. It's tough because it's so young.
Yeah.
And there's a nice list of fighters who are champions or have like 9-10 fights. They're right there. And they've made a hell of a lot of a difference in the sport. So it's hard to just choose that one last one. I mean,
I think your first really 3 are no-brainers. I think Palomino, Misfit,
definitely.
and Lorenzo, they have cemented themselves on that Mount Rushmore. It's that 4th one. It's so hard to evaluate those.
Well, let's go real quick through the divisions. Let's go real quick. We'll start with we already talked about the women. I mean, the standout women obviously are Britain Hart and Christine Faria. We know those are the standout. The others, respect to them, but let's build it up more. Let's get these girls some more fights, and let's really see what they could do too.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, talking to the women fight, I actually 2 nights ago I was in Fort Lauderdale and ran into Jade Mason Wong at the fucking
nice
downtown Fort Lauderdale. I was out with some friends, and then I'm walking back to my car and I see Jade hanging out, and we were bullshitting for like 10 minutes.
Mike says, "Oh, gross,
yucky."
My God, that girl's like every time I see her, she gets prettier. But I'd say if we go through the divisions, the men's bantamweight. I mean, that I would love to see fight more, and hopefully he fights again. But bantamweight, I mean, I think we've pretty much mentioned everybody. That kid Gotti, I want to see him fight again. I want to see him definitely get in there again.
We heard that Gotti's making a move to 125. Kid Gotti.
He's dropping. Who's he going to fight down there?
Fucking, I don't know, but
Marciano Hernandez, maybe.
If he can comfortably make 125, I think he's gonna have a good time down there. And I think that
100%.
I think eventually like him and John Dotson maybe would be a cool fight, something like that.
That'd be a cool fight. Yeah, man, that would be fun to watch. I would like that.
Yeah.
I want to see Mendez fight again.
Chad, yeah.
I want to see him fight again. I know Palomino wants that big fight. I don't know if that maybe. That could happen. But goats, no. Welterweight, we already talked about. Lightweight, I think we already know Palomino's there. Damn, man, that's tough. I think we go heavyweight. I think heavyweight would probably make the most sense.
Yep.
I would say, damn, man, I'll probably put Joey Beltran there for me. I think Beltran, because of the wars he's had, and he's been there since day one. He was the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And he's I think Beltran would probably be that number 4 for me.
And also, and think about this. Joey Beltran had a long run in the UFC. He had a run in Bellator.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He has fought everywhere and everyone. Everyone knows him. And he was one of those guys, and I mentioned this to Dave Feldman last night. When they were able to pull in guys like Beltran, Leonard Garcia, Chris Lieben, and Chris Lytle, these were like established gangsters in the fucking MMA world that made it okay to come over to bare knuckle. And those 4 made it okay for the younger stars that were leaving UFC, like Mike Perry and PVZ and all them to come over. And now, in turn, has snowballed into Kamosi and Dotson and all these guys that are maybe in their later 30s, but they're not even close to done. So, as an ambassador to the sport, Joey Beltran might be that guy.
I'd like to put him there. I mean, I saw the Tony Lopez fights were phenomenal. That first fight, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, and it was fun to watch Beltran because it was like, how much could that guy take and keep coming? Yeah. That guy is like next level tough, So I would probably say Beltran. I'm comfortable with that. That right now, as it stands, I'm comfortable with that Mount Rushmore for me. I mean, how could you go wrong? Palomino, Faria, Lorenzo Hunt, and Joey Beltran. I'm pretty comfortable with that Mount Rushmore.
I could picture the Mount Rushmore right now.
This just in, there's a post about Joe's Mount Rushmore right now on OnlyHands. People are picking it apart. Sorry, man, I can't. It always happens. So it happens to the best of us.
Fucking yeah, there we go.
Wake up tomorrow morning.
Dude,
he don't know what he's talking about.
That was a hell of a breakdown. It was fantastic, Joe. Just as fantastic as your upcoming show is about to be. The Fite Game, everybody. Fite Game, starring Joe Migz, Catalina. Is it Catalina or
Catalina?
Yeah, Catalina.
Fucking
Hager.
Catalina wine mixer.
The Catalina wine mixer herself. Joe Migz in a fucking all-star lineup of contestants.
Oh yeah.
1, 1, 2, 3, baby. How excited are you? Go ahead, say a few final words, and we'll let you get out of here, Joe.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you two fine gentlemen, Mike and Mish, for having me on. This is the go-to Bare Knuckle podcast right here. Check them out. Make sure you follow my boys over here, the Stunads. I mean, I'm rocking the tee, so you already know this shit's legit. Nice. Mike and Mish all day, every day. You never know, man. I feel like at this point, you guys have me on the show a few times. I feel like a distant relative, It's like Mike, the Triple M, Mike, Mish, and Migz, I pop in here and there, say what's up. But the M&M boys, I appreciate you guys very much from the bottom of my heart, giving me the spot. and talking about Fight Game. I'm excited. I'm happy about it. Of course, I'll be rocking your tee. Like I said, the shirt fits like a condom. I love it. It's nice and snug, and it does the job. You know what I'm saying? And it feels good. So I'm excited and thank whoever's been watching. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Happy New Year. Blessed New Year. Everybody stay safe. Enjoy your time, whether you're going to bed at 8 o'clock at night or you're going to watch the balls drop. How you doing? Make sure you have fun and enjoy yourself because 1/1/23, when you wake up, we got Fight Game coming to you. Something totally different, something that's going to be fun. I hope you guys enjoy. Keep it real. Let me know what you guys think of that show when it drops because we always want to improve every single day.
Next time you come on our show, have some trivia questions ready for me and Mike, and we'll do a drive with you.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Let's do it, man. I guess I'm in the trivia business now, so I may as well get questions ready.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Hey,
Awesome.
we're all going to be tuned in. I know we will be.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody subscribe to that YouTube channel and turn the fucking notifications on so you don't miss this shit. Joe Migz, we will be talking to you soon. Have a good one, man. Happy New Year's.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Thank you, guys. God bless. Appreciate
Later.
you.
Later.
Peace.
Just as soon as people start getting over their hangover, the show will be coming on. You're good to go. Look at that. Your day's turning around.
You know what you gotta just have a morning cocktail. That's what you gotta do. The hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog, baby.
Hair of the dog. So you
That's
guys
right.
wake up New Year's Day, have a little drinky drink to get the edge off, and then tune in to Migz and Catalina Wine Mixer down there at the fucking Fight Game.
Yes, sir.
Dude, it sounds like an awesome show.
I
like the idea. I like all the things with the
I
call
love the
outs.
standing 8 count. Love that.
Standing 8, the final boss, the call outs. It's gonna be fun, man. Yeah, man.
Look at that. Big Ben, my Mount Rushmore. Senior, Junior, Hunt, Beltran, Mish, and Mike. Look at that. Wonderful. I'll take that all day.
I like how he put Mish and Mike when it's the Mike and Mish show, but whatever.
I love it. That's his thing. That's what he does. He's Big Ben.
I love this guy. I love Big Ben. I love all you guys. Susan Walker,
Ben,
Joe Ivy,
Susan,
Mike
Joe,
Hanowski. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Patrolman, I don't love you, but thank you for tuning in anyway. Everybody else, Joe Migz, go check him out. Him and Catalina.
Bullfrog's in here.
Bullfrog, actual.
Michael Hanowski.
You know what? I like this comment by him.
Strega.
That is absolutely the perfect, analogy right there. The Artem Lobov, Jason Knight was the Griffin Bonner of bare knuckle. I really believe that. That fight,
it was good.
It turned me and a lot of my friends onto that shit, and it was, and a lot of it was the post fight. Like the fight was incredible. It was when they got sewn up.
Yes, I know.
Afterwards, and in those pictures of the aftermath, it was like that Mike Goldberg thing. So you want to be a fighter? Remember he used to say it all the time.
Yes.
The pictures of Artem and Jason Knight after that fight. So you want to be a fighter? That is like picture perfect. And I would show that to people at work. I'd be like, you guys got to check this sport out. You got to see this. Both of these guys went bell to bell with each other. This is what the aftermath was. Fucking unbelievable. And then people were just like, wait a second. Now that's real? That's a real picture?
Yep.
Jason Knight especially, because he's like in the picture.
It's awesome. The sport's awesome. It's all awesome. We have been here for an hour and a half.
I know. Unbelievable. We were going to do a half an hour with Joe Migz. The problem is we could talk about anything.
Forever.
Yep.
We could just keep on keeping on.
Hey, so before we wrap up, Happy New Year to everybody. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get behind the wheel of a car with some drinks in you. Just stay where you're at.
Just don't do it.
Get a Uber, whatever you got to do. If you need some mortgage help, some loans, all that stuff, hit up Norcom Mortgage. Hit up Mike Mish. He's going to hook you up. And get over to Guerrilla Warfare Apparel and use the promo code and buy some of their stuff.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week. I don't know if we have a show Wednesday yet. I have drill Tuesday and Wednesday. So
right.
So we might have to only do Thursday next week, but the week after we should be back to our normal schedule and
start picking up again because there's a lot of events coming.
We'll start banging out shows heading into Myrtle Beach and so on and so forth. Happy New Year's to all you guys. We love you all for your support all year long. Mike, got anything else for these peeps?
Happy New Year's. Can't wait to see y'all on the flip side. Be safe. It's too easy to get a goddamn Uber. So get one, all right? Or just fucking sleep where you are.
There you go.
There you
Be
go.
smart. Be
wicked
smart. Be wicked
All right?
smart. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.